Alright, we've got a lot to talk about. A lot has happened over the past weekend. On Friday, they pushed out the biggest update that they've had so far, and then they've released another update Saturday, and then yesterday on Sunday. So I was pretty late. I wanted to get a video up this weekend about Friday's update, but I was playing a lot with this Halloween event and everything, the new contraband stuff and everything that added that I'll go into. So I was playing a lot this weekend and didn't really get to put up a video for it, and now that they've had updates then Saturday and Sunday, I'm kind of happy I didn't, and now I can lump all three of those days into one big patch notes video. So to start off, what they've done on Friday, obviously general stability improvements across multiplayer, blackout, and zombies. I'm not really going to get into zombies a whole lot. They've done a lot of things with zombies every single day. They've changed something or helped improve something in zombies, but I don't play a whole lot of zombies. I don't know a whole lot about it. I don't know if you guys would like me to do more zombie stuff or like talk about zombies in the patch notes. Let me know if you do, if that's something that interests you, but for now I'm just kind of gloss over it, not really pay attention to it and stick to multiplayer and blackout. So they've added leaderboards. Leaderboards are now available for multiplayer, blackout, and zombies. For multiplayer and blackout, they will be starting leaderboards after you've played 25 games. So once they have enough data, once they have enough stats for you, then they'll throw you on the leaderboards. They also addressed an issue where player-created paint jobs may appear corrupted or stretched when placed on weapons. This has been an issue for a bunch of modes. There's the camos on multiplayer, blackout, and zombies, and then the paint. The player-created paint jobs, all that they're having an issue where it was showing up on the weapons weird and stuff like that. So they're paying attention to that, and they've released some fixes on that. One thing that kind of sucks, so they said as a result of the significant architectural changes, so all the things that they've been doing to the game, theater mode files can no longer be viewed for anything past last Friday, so the 19th. So when this update rolled out, anything that you had in theater mode for that first week of the game is sadly no longer available because they've had done so many updates and certain things happen that they weren't able to save it. So they said that they're gonna try to make sure this doesn't happen again and try to push out these updates smoother and see what they can do. But that did happen. So theater mode cannot be viewed as of Friday. Anything past, so we're good now. If you've played this weekend, it should still be there, and from now on theater mode should be working as it should, but you lost everything prior to Friday the 19th. On the multiplayer side of things, on Friday they improved spawn points on various maps in free-for-all and domination. That was a big thing that we were having issues with. Spawns were a little funky on some of the maps and some of the game modes, so they're looking at that. They've made some changes to free-for-all and domination on some maps. They've also addressed several issues with mantling and other first-person combat animations. So what that kind of says to me is they're just trying to make the game a little smoother when you're jumping and sliding and crouching and climbing over things and stuff like that. All those little animations, they're just trying to make the game a little smoother and noticing little things after the game's been released that they want to change and make it more smooth. So props to that. Good to hear. Specialist side of things, fixed an exploit where players could use Crash's TAC 5 for the duration of the match. Haven't run into that, but apparently that was an issue. Addressed an issue where Ruin's grapple gun would appear to float from the player's hand. Haven't experienced that, but apparently it was an issue. They fixed it. And they addressed an issue where Nomad's vision pulse visuals would remain on enemies after respawning and during the best play. I've noticed a little bit of that, so I'm glad I have had that during it'll still be there after you die, and you can still see after respawning and during the best play. I have noticed that a little bit, so they're fixing that. And then the last specialist thing that they did on Friday was they improved pathfinding for Prophet Seeker on various maps, so it'll move a little bit differently on some of the maps now. Again, weapons and attachments, they addressed the camo issue, so they're looking at that. Map-wise, on Militia, they added additional spawns for various game modes, so again, they're looking at spawns and making sure that everything's running as smooth as it possibly can for across game modes. And on Payload, they extended the Silo Catwalk control area into the missile area to provide additional cover when attacking and defending. So they're tweaking the control area. So for you control players, they're tweaking that a little bit. I don't know if that's going to extend into hardpoint. They might be doing some hardpoint changes in the area of the hardpoint on some of the maps. So stay tuned for that. Nothing so far, just the map issue or the map things they've done so far is they did some things on militia and then payload. Perks addressed an issue where engineer allowed highlighted equipment to occasionally obscure enemy players. Didn't have an issue with that, but that is something that they fixed. Score streaks addressed an issue where the gunship's thermal visuals would remain on enemy players. And they addressed an issue where the Mantis could not be controlled after calling in a strike team. So you can kind of see that they're doing a bunch of little things are happening with the code in the game, and like little things are happening that they didn't know. So like you can't control the Mantis if you call in a strike team. So they've noticed that the little fine tuning things that they're trying to fix now. So not as big of an issue, but like I don't know how many people would have called in a strike team and then immediately a Mantis like that. That's pretty specific. So they're fine tuning all those little things as they find it. Equipment. Team kills with the sensor dart in hardcore will no longer count towards your score streak progress. So if you're in hardcore, you're using recon, you throw out a sensor dart, and then you get those points towards it when your team gets those kills. With the help of your sensor dart, no longer will count towards your score streak progress. For Blackout, on Friday, they addressed an issue with split screen stability in the staging area. They addressed an issue with challenges in correctly tracking wins in duos and squads. And they tweaked the awareness perk. This is the biggest thing in Blackout that they've done right now, or on Friday. They maximized, or the maximum player footstep volume while activated has been lowered. That's something. So when you use the awareness perk in Blackout, you can hear for pretty far. They narrowed that down a little bit, and because that was kind of confusing. You didn't really know how close they were. You didn't know necessarily where they're coming from. There's been a lot of audio weird issues in multiplayer and Blackout. So they're looking at that. One thing I've noticed a lot is I'll kill somebody and they'll be like the audio of them falling over and falling onto the ground will play like 3, 4, 5 seconds after that I've killed them, and I'm almost thinking that they have another teammate coming up behind them, and I'll like turn and look, and oh, his body's on the ground. It was still that audio from that. So there's been a bunch of audio issues. I know we addressed some of that in the last patch notes video, and they were looking at that. So audio is something that they're aware of. They're looking at it. So the maximum player footstep volume while active has been lowered for the awareness perk, and the material sound. So if you're walking on whatever that is, there's no snow, but dirt, metal, wood, platforms, that kind of stuff. The material sounds are now more audible over longer distances while activated. And then they did some general stability and other updates on PC to try to make that run a little smoother. And now for the weekend update that they've done. When they added in the contraband, the Operation Strike Force, whatever the thing that they've done. Very, very, very similar to Fortnite's seasons is what it looks like that they're trying to kind of replicate. You know, they keep saying that they want to have this game be the most supported game and after launch that they've ever had in Call of Duty. So, and this is one of the things that they're doing to try to do that. So we have about 55 days or something as of Saturday to do this first operation. There's 100 tiers. It's a whole nother stat line, whole nother progression, whole nother XP system thing to get these tags and gestures and camos and cosmetic things like that. So the level 20 is a ICR gun, so I don't know if that's just another variant gun that's just cosmetic differences or it's performance differences. We're gonna have to look and see. I haven't looked into that. I don't know what the deal is with that, but definitely gunning for that. I definitely want to try to get that ICR regardless of performance or cosmetic. That'd be something really cool to have. So looks like they're doing that. Blackout characters also can be unlocked, so skins, that kind of stuff, which I think is really cool that makes me want to play more, and it'll keep me interested throughout the year. And obviously it's worked for Fortnite, so they're kind of replicating that model a little bit. And they've also done the Halloween themed special events. So on top of those operations and the other special events that kind of act more like seasons, is the way it looks, they have these Halloween themed events. And those are smaller tiers. It only goes up to about 20 tiers. So no matter where you were, we noticed that with the guys that I play with, it doesn't matter where you are on your operation tier progress, you will, when the Halloween event starts, you will automatically have 20 levels. So you could be on level 14 and you start there 20 levels from 14. Your brand new event levels will get you the Halloween gear, and that is only available for like 7 days. So just the Halloween time. I think I was like level 2 on the operation when on the strike force or whatever when the Halloween event came on, and so then I had to get to level 22 to unlock the very last cool looking like face paint thing that they had, which I think is pretty cool, so I'm definitely going to be shooting for that. And then Nuke was playing, and he was on like level 4, and he had to get all the way to level 24 of the operation tier before he was able to unlock that last pumpkin. And then Alex Monster, he didn't have any progress yet, and he just had to get to level 20. So it doesn't matter where you are on the operation, you still have to, once the Halloween event launches, or once the special event has launched in the future, you're gonna have so many levels of that event separate to the operation event, the season event type thing that's already there. So starting October 20th, which was Saturday, PS4 players get access to our free Halloween themed special event stream in the Blackout Market with new seasonal gear to earn and use across all modes, which is pretty cool. So you can use that on Zombies, Blackout, or multiplayer, anything that you get from this special event. And then I did see a couple things on Reddit. People were upset, Xbox and PC guys were upset that PS4 was getting this early, and they were all worried about it, so they did make sure they clarified. They said, as a reminder, those start and end times vary by platforms, because PS4 with their exclusive deal, they're going to get it early, like we got it early. But as a reminder, those start and end times vary by platform. Limited time special events like the Halloween event will run for the same duration for all platforms, giving all players the same amount of time to earn that content. So you don't have to worry about that. Just because you're not on PS4 and just because the deal is exclusive with PS4 doesn't mean you're going to have less time to get those special cosmetics and stuff from these special events than PlayStation does. So you don't want to have to worry about that. The other things that they did general to the game, obviously the general stability fixes on Saturday for Blackout, death stashes, they fixed that. They've tweaked that a little bit, fixed an issue where players were sometimes unable to loot items from a death stash. I've noticed that. So they fixed that, or they pushed out a bug. Hopefully that'll be fixed. Multiplayer general, they addressed an issue that prevented players from earning contraband tier progress, addressed an issue when preventing players from earning the proper amount of contraband tier progress based in round games, or in round-based games, and then they addressed an issue with some multiplayer matches ending in game session no longer available, don't get any XP for it, blah, 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 all that stuff. So, general stability stuff that they're fixing, they're always kind of fine-tuning that throughout the year, and it's nuts that they've pushed out an update almost every day since launch. That they're really trying to fine-tune this game. Create a class, they addressed an issue with attachments not applying to the GKS. I've been grinding ARs hard. I'm still not done with the AR diamond yet, so I haven't really touched any of the SMGs in the game yet except for the SOG on GBs. But apparently there was an issue with attachments applying to the GKS. They know about it. They're trying to fix it. They pushed out an update. Should be good now. And special issue equipment resolved an exploit that led to unlimited Seeker shock mines. So that I haven't run into that, but the Seeker's super annoying. So I can, if that's unlimited shock mines, that's an issue. I don't want that in the game. So glad they noticed that and they're fixing that. Last thing they did was Sunday. Yesterday they pushed out another update, and this is mostly just performance stuff. So general stability across all game modes like normal. Blackout for stash looting again addressed an issue where players had to scroll right or left on the D-pad multiple times to navigate through stash lists. I've noticed that quite a bit. Sometimes I'll hit right and it won't scroll. I have to hit it a couple times before it starts scrolling, and then there's times where it just won't scroll. I'll hit it like 3 or 4 times, and then all of a sudden I'm all the way through the weapons at the ammo, and so it's and I'm looking at ammo and trying to pick up ammo. So it's weird. They know that there's some issues on console with stash looting and stuff. PC, it's much easier. You're just dragging and dropping for the most part, or it kind of pulls up a full menu, which I really wish they would incorporate that, or give us an option to incorporate that in console. I would much rather pull up the stash loot or death stash, and instead of it scrolling with a single bar, I'd much rather have everything pop up and then me just be able to flick with the D-pad or use the cursor, the free range cursor that they've implemented this year to pick what I want. And I feel like that'd be a lot easier just to pull it up, see what they have, grab what you want, and go. I feel like PC definitely has an advantage there, which isn't a bad thing, you know, with the PC's going to have an advantage almost in every game, but that does seem to be something that they could implement for console relatively easily, or have an option that we could decide what we want to do. But they're still looking at stash looting. They know there's some issues with it, so they're glad they're addressing that, and they're looking at different ways they can change it to make it more smooth. So the other thing with Blackout yesterday that they did was the circle collapse. They addressed an issue where the collapsed circle would sometimes appear invisible to players. Haven't ever had that issue, but that could definitely be a problem if you don't see where the circle is on the map and you can't play your game to adjust to that. So addressing that. Multiplayer, the last couple things they did, the scoreboard, they addressed an issue that highlighted the wrong score on the scoreboard if the scoreboard was opened immediately after death. And then specialists, they jumping while sprinting with Ruin now performs the same as all other specialists. So I guess Ruin was a little bit faster, so that they tweaked that. The last thing that they wrote in this update yesterday, the last thing Treyarch posted on the Reddit, was there's been a lot of I'm just going to read this straight up, word for word from them. One of the biggest thing, especially with GBs, I play a lot of GBs, that's where most of my time on Call of Duty is in private matches. I really wish they would think about integrating game battles again like they have the past couple years, and I'm assuming they will. I'm assuming that's part of the plan, but it is difficult, and not after 2 years of just being able to click on a menu and have my match with all the settings and everything popped up on a dedicated server for GBs has been great. It's a little frustrating now, at least at launch, having to worry about custom matches and worry about disputes if something's not right, or a bunch of stuff. So I hope they do integrate it, but if they don't, then we're back to kind of where we were with custom matches for competitive, which is fine, we can deal with it, but it's very, very clunky right now. If I go into a match on another host, we play that match, best of 3, it's time for me to go host, I'll go host into a lobby, I can't change the game settings. It won't let me do that, or there's just a bunch of little things, people lagging out, picking the wrong teams, not being able to pick their teams, a bunch of random stuff that's happening. So I'm just going to read this word for word from Treyarch. They said, we've also noticed a lot of discussion around network performance over the past couple days and wanted to take a moment to address this directly. We're constantly working to optimize the game and particularly network performance to ensure the highest quality online experience for our players. For a game launch with as massive a population as ours hitting so many global servers at once, we configure our infrastructure to ensure game stability as the highest priority over all other factors. Now that we're past the initial launch of the game, we are focusing on fine-tuning network performance around the globe using the real-world data that we have collected. Over the course of the next 2 weeks, we will roll out several updates on our network setup and will continue to improve upon the experience of our players since launch. As we have always said, launch is just the beginning, and we're committed to making Black Ops 4 the best supported game we've ever delivered. This is a journey that will include constant adjustments, improvements, and additions. We appreciate your continued support and patience. So, and we can definitely see that they are sticking to their word with updates literally every day. So I'm really excited for this game. I know that they're going to be changing things and everything's going to get better. Give it a month and it'll I really think the custom matches and GBs and all that will be very, very good again. All those connection issues and all that, they're putting the time into to make sure that all of that is getting fixed the way and made sure it's made the way that it's supposed to, and that we can work on and play on the smoothest experience that we can. So they do notice that there are a lot of people playing this game. It is very, very, very popular. Obviously, Call of Duty is in like the top 10 global game sales every single month. Like World War II last month still was in the top 10 title sales across all games for the month of like October before Black Ops 4 even launched, and September before Black Ops 4 launched. So Call of Duty is a huge title. This year with Blackout, it's drawing a lot more players. Online, obviously, with no campaign, online's where everybody's playing right now. So that's where games are going, and that's where people are spending their time. So huge game. They're working on it. They have a lot of problems that they know that they need to fix, but the fact that they're working on it and they're pushing out updates literally every day, so that makes me very, very confident. I love all the Reddit posts. I love the blog posts. They're very, very transparent with us about what they're doing and what they're changing in the game, and then things that they're looking at and they're like, hey, we know it's an issue, but we're not going to do anything about it yet because we want to make sure that we fix it the right way. I really appreciate that too. They're taking their time with gun issues. I'm sure they know about the ICR. The ICR, something will be done to the ICR within the next few weeks. I'm almost positive. But they want to make sure they do the right thing, and they do it the right way, and that other guns don't all of a sudden just become an ICR 2.0 after they fix it, you know? So I do appreciate that. They are working on it. I love how transparent they are. I love these Reddit posts. They give me video ideas to make too, so it's great. So hope you guys enjoyed. That's all that they've done so far. Hopefully this next weekend I'll be able to have another update, because I'm assuming if these updates continue. Now I'm not expecting updates to continue every day, every other day like they have been for the first couple weeks of launch. I'm sure they'll thin out, and as the year goes it'll be months in between some updates. So, but I don't know, it might be weekly, so we'll see. But we'll go from there. But that is everything that they've done as of Monday when this goes live on the 22nd. So enjoy the Halloween event, enjoy the contraband strike, whatever we've got so far for this first little season, this first operation. And thanks for watching. Subscribe and turn on notifications so when we get this next video, the next patch notes, you guys can stay informed and know what's going on. Thanks, guys.